Hi everyone. So a very good evening. So this is our Bootcamp 12 Part 2 where we are going to see a continue Amazon website. We make a structure and apply CSS on it. So let's start. Let me open my live server first. So this is the mini website that we created, and here we have a product. This is a static web page, as you can see, because whenever we are clicking on it button, this button is okay. Let me remove the code 1 minute. Mm, remove this. We have only these files. 1 minute. Okay, fine. Let me open my live server again. Okay, so we have a static page. Uh, Till now, we don't add any functionality in it. Let me click on any button, like it's not in a working condition. So now we have to work on that. So what we will do, for example, yesterday we already created a script.js file. So I remove that. Okay, let me recreate it again. Mm, script.js. Okay, so this is our JavaScript file where we are going to implement our logic. So what logic we are going to add? First of all, we need to add functionality in it. Like whenever we are going to click on this button, we get some pop-up or we get some console so that we can check that like button is working fine. Let me open the console. For example, here only we get some console.log like this button is clicked, so that we come to know this button is in working condition. So let's start. For that, what I'm going to do, here we already imported our script.js file inside script tag, and here we have a script, and you can see we have a cart as well. This cart we have, and what I want, the logic is like that. If we click on any product and click as add to cart, so our product will go on our cart. So whenever we open our cart, right now we don't have a cart, so that's why we are not getting anything. So what we can do, for example, when I'm clicking on cart, we are getting empty because cart.html is not defined. So from where we are getting this, we make anchor tag for that, for everything, product, home. Like as I'm clicking on shop, we are getting shop, but we are not created any page for this. Uh, Here we getting cart.html because we write it, we give attribute with the name card.html, and html basically the .html extension is used for writing the html code. So let me create the file with the same name, card.html, so that only we are able to implement our logic. So here we have a cart.html. Now it's fine. Let me take a boilerplate of HTML. For that I can use this extension emit abbreviation. And here let me write some shopping cart. Title as a shopping cart so that we can check whether it's working fine or not. Shopping cart. And let's check on UI. Okay. So now let me click on the card again. Okay, we are getting cart.html, and here we get title as well, shopping cart. Inside cart.html, we don't add anything inside body because basically body represent whatever we are going to reflect on our web page. We are going to write inside body only. Right now we have an empty body. So that's why we are not saying anything on our web page. So let me, this is a shopping cart page. So let me write heading as a shopping cart. Okay, save it and let's check. Yeah, we are getting, okay, fine. Now here I want to take one div, and here what I want to in shopping cart, just understand as a logic only. In shopping cart, like whatever the product we are added, it will go on our cart, so that next time, like for example, what we are going on, what we are doing on a real life online e-commerce website. Like for example, if we go on Amazon or Flipkart, so if we like any product, we will do add to cart, whether we buy or not, but we will add it to our cart. So next time, whenever we want to buy it, from only we no need to search on a whole web page. We go on cart and see our favorite item that we already added, and from there only we can buy it. Okay. So here also we are going to implement some logic like that. For example, whatever the shoes do you like, and if you want to add, you can add to your cart. So next time you don't have to search for the particular shoes. From cart itself, you can buy your product. So here also I'm going to do like that. So whenever we are clicking on add to cart, we will get a product. So inside div, I am going to use ID, because with the help of ID only we can use document.getElement by ID, whatever the logic we are going to implement on JS file, that is JavaScript file. So here ID, inside ID, I am going to write cart item. So whatever the item we are going to show, it will reflect here only. Cart items. Right now it's empty. We are not going to add anything. And for this card, we will make one separate JS file. So whatever the logic we are going to implement for this card, that will show on card.js. So we will make file like that. So let me use script tag and make that file as well. Individually we will make separate files, so it is easy for us to understand, because we don't do complexity in writing JavaScript code in only one file. So it's easy for us to understand. Here I'm going to use src attribute, and inside src attribute I'm going to write card.js, and with the same name I'm going to create file as well. Right now we don't have file. Let's do one thing. We will create file first, then we will give name. Okay. So it's a good way. Card.js. Okay, fine. And inside HTML, I'm going to use card.js only. Okay, fine. So card.html is attached with card.js. So whatever the code we are going to write here, we can apply logic in a separate file. And this card.html is this is our index.html main file, that is parent file. And here we have a card.html reference. Okay. So now it's clear. So first of all, in this file, we see we have a button. Okay, and on button we need functionality, like we need something like that. We get some pop-up like this product is added in our cart. First we need that, then after that we will focus on our logic part, like this item should be go on cart when we add when we click on this button. Okay. So for doing that, what I'm going to do, let me open my script.js. So here we have a script.js file, and here I'm going to use document dot add event listener. So we can add a add event listener, and here I'm going to use DOM content loaded, and going to make function, and inside this function we will execute code in a curly bracket. Okay. So what next we will do, we make a function with add event listener, and here I write document content loaded, and here I'm going to going to make one variable with var add to cart button, because we have to apply logic on add to cart. Okay. Add to cart button. This variable we will make this variable for adding a functionality for all our buttons. So you see that here we have an class with the name product. Okay, this day this like this is for whole product, like we are using the same class with the name product, and here we have a class and we need to apply the functionality on a button. So how we are going to write? For class we are using dot symbol, and on button, so we are simply going to use this tag name as a button only. Okay, so document, 1 minute guys. So here I'm going to write document dot query selector for all, like for all our button that we have. So here I'm going to write, going to take string, and inside string we have a class name with the name product, and where we have to apply the logic on a button. So this line of code will apply all the button that we are using for our product. It will add functionality for now. Next, what we are going to do, we are going to call this variable name for our each product, like whatever the each item we have for that. So here I'm going to call my variable name, copy it from here only. Add to button. Now what I'm going to do, we have a for each function, for each method. We are going to use that. I will explain you how it's work. Now we again going to make a function, and inside function here we have to pass a parameter, like on button we have to add functionality, so as a parameter we are going to pass button only, and then we are going to execute our code for this button. Like for each function is, for each method is used for all the button that we are using for our product. So here we need some click on our button, we get some functionality, like our product is added to our cart, some logic like that we are going to implement. So here I'm going to write button dot add event listener, and inside that we need some click functionality. So here I'm going to use click, and then I'm going to again use function. I'm using this function for like sometime, like we are clicking on a button, like for example let me show you on UI, like if I'm clicking on this button, so on each time, like if single product I'm clicking on this button, our page will reload. For stopping this reloadation property on every click, for that I'm creating this function again, function, and here I'm going to pass one event as a parameter, and inside that event I'm going to use uh, event dot prevent default. So whenever we click on the button, our page will not reload, it will prevent it, it will stop it from reloading. So that's why I'm going to use that function, event dot prevent default. I'm going to call this function here. On every click our page will not reload. Okay, so here what we will do till now, we use document.add event listener, and this line adds an event listener to the DOM content loaded event, okay, which fires when the initial HTML document has been completely loaded and passed. without waiting for style sheet. Images and some frame, whatever we are using, it will not wait for that. Then after it, what we will do, we will make one variable with the name add to cart. So this line select what? All the button that are there inside our element with the class what? Product, using the query selector all method. It returns a node list of all the matching element that we have inside our index.html file. Now we are calling a for each method here on add to cart button that we created as a variable name. So this line iterate over each button, okay, that we have inside our element, or you can say in the node list, using the for each method. It takes a callback function as an argument. I will explain you what is callback function. Then after that, we add a click event listener. You can see add event listener on button. We can call it click event listener to each button. So when a button is clicked, the provided callback function will be executed. And this event dot prevent default, the last one, the method that we call here. So this line prevent the default action of the button click event, like which is to submit a form or navigate to another page. So on that time our page will reload. So from that it will stop doing that action. It will prevent it. Now what I'm going to do that after it, I'm going to take another variable with the product name. Okay. Here also I'm going to use button dot, we have a parent element, okay, parent element dot query selector, and this time we are going to select what? Inside index.html we have this h3, that is product one, so I'm going to select this h3. Okay, so here I'm going to write inside query selector what I'm going to select, h3 dot inner text. Okay, so here we have a product name variable, and we take a parent element dot query selector. So this line select the text content of the h3 element that is a child of the button parent element. Okay, you can understand like this. That's why we take parent element. Now next we are going to take another variable. First we take for product name. Now I'm going to take same as like for price and for our product. So we take for product name. Next we have a price, isn't it? Okay, we have a price. So in the same way, I'm going to take for price as well. Let me copy this line only and paste it below. And we will change the variable name. As a product name, we are going to change this product price. Okay. This will be. And button dot parent element query selector, what will be the query selector for price? We have a p dot inner text. Okay, now let me put this as well. After that what we are going to do, we have a lots of product, so I'm going to take another variable for my whole product, like where product, and here inside product we have a name or price. Okay, we have what is the two thing, we are not going to focus on image now. We have a name of our product and we have a price. Already we are going to apply logic for button. So we take a object, and inside object we are going to take um, name, that is property, and value. As you already do, inside object we can take property and a value as a product name. This I am going to call, and this is the way only we are going to get. So whatever the thing we want, we can simply write product dot name, so we get our product name. I already show you this thing in previous classes, so you can get those all things from there only, so you get an idea like how can we access our object in on our web page. So now next what I'm going to take, I'm going to take price. And inside price, I'm going to assign this, the product price. Okay, let me copy this only. And so if we want to access these things, simply we have to write product dot name instead of we have to writing these all things. Okay, we simply write product dot name, product dot price. Okay, now 1 minute. Okay, fine. So we will do that. So simply what we do, we have a product name. Let me explain you one more time. We have a product name button dot like for parent button, parent element. So select the text of S3 element, then we will select the text of P element, then we will create a JavaScript object named product with two properties. What two properties we have? Name and price, and assign the value obtained from the previous two line that we created above product name. Now after that, I'm going to create another variable with the name cart item so that it is easy for us to access all those things easily. We don't need to write again and again. That's why I'm writing those all things here only. Now I'm going to take another variable with the name cart item. So whatever the item we want, from there only we can get cart items. And inside cart items, first of all we want to get this all thing. If we get once, then only we are able to set those all thing in a cart. So for getting, what we are going to use, json.parse. So what is this json.parse? So json.parse, we are going to get our item inside local storage. Let me write the line so that it's easy for you to understand. Here json.parse. I will explain you what is this JSON parse. Then here I am going to write local storage dot get item, and inside get item what I need my cart items. If there is a cart item, then we will show cart item, or if there is nothing, then we will show empty array. Okay. Now, what is this JSON.parse and what is this local storage? So let me explain you, because without that we are not able to set our item in our cart whenever we are going to add it. So here local storage, you can see we have a json.parse. Inside that we put parenthesis, and inside it we write local storage dot get item, cart items, and an empty array we pass. So this line retrieves the cart item stored in the browser local storage. Okay, we are storing some item, whatever the product name, product price, we are going to store in local storage. You can read about local storage on W3 School. You get an idea about that. And if there are no item initialized, like, then it will show empty array. Okay, because once we are getting our item, then only we are going to set. Okay, now what I'm going to do, basically this line retrieve the cart item stored in the browser local storage. If there are no item, it initializes as an empty array. Then I'm going to make my cart item as well. I'm going to push this thing inside my cart items. Okay, whatever the product we get, for example, if we get any product, we are going to push it on a cart item. Okay, so here I'm going to push my cart items, this only dot push. What I'm going to push, my product, whatever the product we have, this one, we have name or price, this all those things I'm going to push on my local storage. I will show how it will be pushed. We have a local storage on our application, so from there we can check it. Right now we don't write the complete code. From here we can check like our item is added in local storage or not. So in this way we can check. I will show you once it is done, like our item is added or not. Right now we get a key value as an empty. That one was my previous one. So still it's empty. So we'll show you. So once we are getting our item in our local storage, then we are able to set in any other page as well. So it is easy for us to get. So I will push the product, like whatever the item that I got inside my cart. So I will post it on my product. So I will got this two thing. Now I'm going to set my item. Okay. So for setting, like I just pass it for set my item. I'm going to use what I'm going to use local storage dot set item. Okay. Local storage dot set item, whatever we are going to get from cart items, and it will set in JSON stringify in string form. We are going to get cart items only. Okay. So this two line are most important line because without that we are not going to get or set our items. So here, first we do push, like add the product object to the cart item array. As you can see, we are using cart item dot push and added our item in an array. Then after it we are setting, like this set, you can see local storage dot set item. So this line convert the cart item array to a JSON string and store it in the browser local storage under the key items. Now you can check it by giving some alert here. You can do console also. Basically console we use for debugging a statement, like it's working fine or not, or basically alert like we are for on clicking on button we are getting that or not. We can write simply this line also, then also our function will work. But we are writing these all things because we have to add our item in a cart. So that's why we do local storage set item so that we get it on our card. Once we set, then only we are able to get. So for get, we are going to write the code inside card.js. So first thing we have to focus on set, like our product is set it in local storage or not. So let me check it. So how can we check? We can use alert. So let me use alert, or you can use console first, like your button is working fine or not. Console.log, and here I'm going to write product is added. We can check it without writing this code also. We can check by this function only, but we are writing this because we need to set our item in our local storage. Product is added to cart. JSON is not defined, so let's check what we did wrong. We have a uh, we have what we have var card item. Here we have a set JSON. Okay, so what mistake we did? We have to write JSON in a capital. Okay, fine. JSON dot pass. That's why we are getting this error. Okay, now it's good. So whenever we are clicking on add to cart, product is added to our cart in every button because we use for each method for each product. Okay. So you can see the increment is already going. You can refresh it and check on different product. So you come to know it's working fine. Okay. Now how it's added in our local storage, that also I have to show you. Okay, let me refresh it. Okay. For example, I click on this. So we get cart item as a key name because we pass cart item only. So as a key name, we get card item and a product name, the object that we are creating name for name and for price. You can check that. This is the most important thing because once you set your item, then only you are able to get in another file. So here you can see we are getting our name and price, the object that we are created, the product. We are pushing the cart item there only. So that's this is the reason we are getting in a string form, because here we also pass local storage dot set item cart item json dot stringify. In string form we are getting a cart items. So in this way you can add lots of things, not only this the two things. inside key we have a lots of thing inside our value, name, price, address, whatever the thing you are, there are lots of things, so more you can add that inside. So once we are successful in setting our item in local storage, then what we have to do, we have to get the same thing inside a cart. Right now our cart is empty. For getting this product, for example, here it is added. When I click on the add to cart button, it is added in a local storage. So now this thing I have to show in this file, in the cart file, the name of the product and price, whatever we are added. For example, suppose I want this shoes, and when I click on add to cart, it will not here, it will not reflect here, it will show on my card that my one product is added here in this way only. Okay, so we get another product as well. You can check in your laptop by increasing its size. Okay, from here you can increase it full size. Okay, you can click on it, you get all those things here. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to show the card in a JS. So for that we have to use card.js. Now in HTML we don't have anything, we just have heading shopping cart. Now what I want, whatever the card we are adding, we need to reflect here inside our card. So for that I'm going to use my card.js, and inside card.js I'm going to use add event listener. Okay, same like the previous one in script.js also. For calling this, let me change that. Here we are going, instead of console we are going to use alert, because alert all the time we are not going to open the console. So it's better that we get some pop-up. So for pop-up we are going to use alert. Okay, let me comment it out and let me use alert here. Inside alert, I'm going to write product is added to cart. Product added to cart. Okay. Okay, fine. Let's check, like, yeah, it's working fine. Product added to cart. Okay. Next, what we have to do, we have a card.html file. Inside it already we use card.js. So whatever the logic we are going to implement, it will reflect here in this file. So let's start working on that. Now I thought you may understand what next we have to do. So here I'm going to use document.add event listener, and inside add event listener I'm using DOM content loaded as the previous one, and here I'm going to make function, and inside function we use curly bracket, and here we execute our code. So here we have to get our item from where? From local storage, the item that we set. So for that I'm going to use local storage dot get item. You can see here we are setting our item in local storage. After setting our item, we need to get that item as well. So for getting that item, we are going to use local storage dot get item. And what item we want? We need cart items. Okay, so here I'm going to use string cart items. Okay, now let me use it in single quotes only. So there also we are using single quotes. You can use double also. It's not create any issue. Now we are going to assign. We are going to pass that value. 1 minute, guys. So here also we are doing the same as before we are doing. like add an event listener to the DOM content loaded event, which fire when the initial HTML document has been completely loaded and passed without waiting for style sheet images, the same that I explained you before. So now what I'm going to do, I'm using this local storage dot get item. Okay, here we are not using any variable, so let me give some variable name. Variable name is cart items. Okay, cart items equal to local storage dot get item. Inside get item, what we have a cart items. So what this line says, this line retrieves the value associated with the key cart items from the browser local storage. It stores the value in the variable name cart item. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write cart items equal to, we have a cart items, then we are going to uh, pass this card item. For that passing we are using json dot pass, and inside pass what we want, we need card item. If there is a card item, then it will give a card item, otherwise we will get an empty array as a previous one. Okay, so card items equal to card item, then we put question mark and json dot, this is not a question mark, this is your ternary operator. Ternary operator will check, like if this condition is true, it will give that. Otherwise, if in case we don't have a card item, it will pass an empty array. This is your ternary operator. Ternary operator don't this question mark symbol is your ternary operator. This work like that. We will like true or false. If this thing will true, we will get this thing. If sometime it will check, like if in case it will come false, so on that time it will print this one. Okay, if your first value is true, then you are going to get the first one only. So this is your ternary operator, will check the condition, which condition is true. And if anyone is true, then it will print that. Like if in case, like it will check first one, if first one is not true, it will print the second one. Okay, like this. So this line check if cart item is truthy, that is not null or undefined. If it is passed the JSON string stored in the card item into a JavaScript object. Like if card item is false, it means like if there is no object, no value. So it assign an empty array to the card item. Now, after that, what we are going to do, we are going to create our another container. Okay, that cart item container, we will name something like the cart item container. Inside that we are going to get our cart items. So here we are getting a cart item from where, the id that we pass here with the name cart item. Let me copy. There we are going to use document dot get element by id. Let me copy this, and here we are also going to use document dot get element by id, and inside id I am going to pass my cart items. Okay, now I'm going to make a function with we get this cart item. Now after getting this cart item, I'm going to make one more function for deleting that item from our cart. Okay, let me save this. Then we will render our card each time. So we get our cart item here by using document dot get element by id. So this line select the DOM element with the id cart items and assign it to the variable cart item container where the cart item will be displayed. Now we are going to make a function for remove item. Like sometime we are not want that product, so on the time we have something for remove as well. So let me create a function for that as well. Here I'm going to make a function for remove item. I'm going to pass a parameter with name index, and here uh, we are going to use cart items dot splice. Splice basically we use for removing the item. I will tell you how. Then we have an index, and if it will there, okay. So what this do, why we are taking this splice, what splice will do. So this line removes one element from the cart item array at a specified index. Okay, so splice basically what it will do, it will remove the one element whatever we want to remove. So and we use index. So from which index, if we want, like we have an array start from 0 index 0 1 2 3, like that we are removing from a index one element from the card item array at the specified index. Now after it, after removing this, what we can do, we can set our item that we are getting from local storage. So local storage dot set item, that set item, what we are going to set are cart items, and we have to convert in a string form. So for that we are going to use json dot stringify, and inside stringify what we have to remove the card item, what we have to set card items, and we have to render a card as well. So rendering the card, we need to call render function. So 1 minute, what happened? Render card. So this render card, I will explain you what it will do. First, we set our item uh, card item added to a JSON string and store it in the browser local storage under the key name, but we have card items. Then we use render. So render card function to update the display of card item after an item has been removed. For example, if we have a product 1, product 2, product 3 inside our card, if we remove product 1, on the time it will render and it will show only 2 product, that is product 2, product 3, because product 1 is already removed. So for that we are using render card function here. Now what I am going to do, we will do that. Now I want to here we use a render card function, call the function, but where we define this function, we like nowhere we define that function. So how it come to know what we have to render? So for that we have to create a function as well. So let me create a function here, function as a name, render card. So inside render card, I'm going to make a function so that it can understand what all those things I have to render. So inside render card, what we are going to mention, we are going to use our HTML part. Like we have an image, we have H3. For single product, what all those things we have, all the stuff we have a name, we have a price, we have a button, and we have an image. We have to render all those things. If we remove one single card from our card, so on the time the page will render and it will show all those things. Okay, got it? So here I am making a render card function, and here I am going to use card items container. Okay, dot inner HTML. Inside inner HTML I am going to pass empty string, and then I'm going to use card items dot for each. Now I'm going to make function. So whatever the item we have, here I'm going to use two parameter, item or as an index, and then I'm going to execute my function, and here I'm going to take a var with the name item item element. Okay. Inside item element, we have to, we want first div. This div should be rendered because we have div for every product we are using div. This div should be rendered. So let me write document dot create element, and inside that we need to pass div because we have to render the div. Now after rendering div, we have a lots of thing inside inner HTML. So for that I'm going to use this only. Let me use this item element. Let me paste it here. Dot inner HTML, and inside it, what all thing do you have inside? Mm, you have inside your inner HTML. You can write we have a div. First tag what we have a div, and inside div what all those things you have image. You can check it from index.html image, and then we have a h3, we have a p, then we have a button. So you have to take all those things one by one. So let me take image, and inside image you have to, for accessing that thing you have to use curly bracket. Okay. We have an image, uh, then what we have a h3 tag. 1 minute. Here I'm using backtick. Whatever the thing do you have, you can mention it here. Image, then we have a h3 tag. Inside h3 tag, but we have name of the product. So for denoting that, we can use a dollar curly bracket. Inside curly bracket, we take a parameter with the name item. So here you can give item dot name of the for product we are using name. So in the same way, we have a p tag. For p tag also you can do the same thing. We can take a dollar symbol, and inside curly bracket we can execute our price as well. Item dot price. Okay. Then at last we have a button. So now we have item dot name, item dot price, and we have an image as well. So for image you can do one thing. You can write src. You can use src attribute, and inside src attribute you can use a dollar symbol, and you can do the same way like you are doing for name of your product and price. So here I'm going to give item dot image. Okay, fine. And you can give alt property as well, alt, because here our image is not going to be loaded because we are using the URL for every product. So for that we need to make a separate file, and inside separate file we are going to put our all the images, and we are going to use the image name. Okay, not a URL like we are using. So as of now, let it be like from next time we make a separate file for putting our image. Now here we have a item dot image. Then we are going to use now we are going to use alt attribute. Basically alt attribute we use when sometime because of fail of server our image is not loaded. On that time we get a alt attribute, so that we come to know what is here inside the image. So here, here I'm going to write the product name. What should be the product name as a so we can write item dot name only. We get the name of the product so that we can analyze which image it is. So yeah, it's done. We can use a style attribute for giving width. It's up to you. Let me use style, and inside style I'm going to give width as 100 pixels so that our image is fixed on our UI. Okay. Let me save this. Now we need one more button as well. So button for removing our item, because we make a function with the name remove item. So we need to call this function as well. So let me make button, button for remove, or you can write delete only. Okay, delete. Okay, fine. We create a button for delete. Now we need, okay, after this, what you do, you can write item element dot query selector, and inside query selector I'm going to call my button, this button that I'm writing here, and inside that I'm going to add some I add event listener, and inside add event listener I'm going to call my click function. So this button is also work like add to cart product button is working. Click, and here I'm going to make a function, and inside function I'm going to call this one remove item that we are not calling, so that button will also work fine. So let me call this function remove item, and we need to pass the parameter as well, index, like from which index we want to remove. So I'm going to pass this as an argument index. Okay, let me save this. Okay, we create for delete as well. Now let me render all the page. First of all, I'm going to write here. We have a card item container. So dot, this is a child, append child. I will explain you what it will do. And here we have a item element. Okay, let me pass it here. And let me render the card once again. Here I'm going to render my card, the function that I call render card. Okay, let me call it here render my card. So here my card will render. So what I do, let me explain you. This is the simple HTML we are using here inside a card item. So we have an image inside the tag. We have all those things we are mentioning here. And render card basically used to update the display of card item after an item has been removed. Okay. Now we declare function also with the name render card, and it will be responsible for rendering the card item in the UI. Now you can see we have a card item container dot inner HTML. Okay. So this line clears the existing HTML content inside the card item container element. Or then we are using for each for card items. So this line iterate over each item in the card item array using the for each method. It takes a callback function as an argument which receives the item and its index. And then we have a where item element, as you can see. So document dot create element, and inside that we are using div. So this line creates a new div element and assign it to the variable item element. This element will represent a single card item. Okay, and at last we are rendering a whole card. Okay, let me save this slide. Or in this way we can get our item in our card as well. So when we are adding, we get a card is added, and here we get lots of card because previously we are added as well. Here we have a button as well. Let me delete. We are not getting an image. The reason I told you before also, let me tell you again. Let me check it like it's working fine or not. Okay. Okay, not showing empty area. Okay. We are adding the product in our card. Okay, and it's we are getting as a keyword repair here, and inside card also we get one product. Okay, now if we add 39.9 in this one, okay, we get an alert, and this will also add it in our card. If sometime we don't want any product on the time, we can delete and it will delete it. Like this we can delete all the thing. So this is the functionality we add. What you have to do next, what you have to do is that, for example, if you added any card and here you get delete. Okay, so you have to show that image as well. So for showing the image, this is your task. What you have to do here, what I am doing, I am giving src, like I am giving the whole url for my every product. So for that you have to make a separate folder with the name images, and inside images uh, you have to put all the images of your product. You have to download the image and put it there, and after it you have to use the name only. So how you can do that? For example, I'm giving you the example, so in this way you can do that. And like for example, image, you can write image, and inside image you can use src attribute, same like before. Now this time you don't have to paste the url. You have a images folder, you can write images, and inside images, whatever the image you put inside that folder, you get the name. When you scroll down, you will get the name. So you have to paste the name here, so you get that image only, and easily you can reflect here inside card.js. You just give the name of the image, item.image name, and you can show. So in this way you have to do that, okay, so that your image is also dynamically visible in your card. So as of now, I'm done with the explanation. Let me recap it so that you can understand. Uh, Let me show you the UI. So here what we did, we will make a static UI, and it is very easy. We write simple HTML code for creating header, main content and footer. And after that we apply CSS on it for making our web page looking attractive. Then after that what we did, at last we apply JavaScript logic here. So whenever the user click on add to cart, so their item is get added in the cart. So you can check it from there. For that we use local storage set item or get item property. So okay, I'm done with that. You can fill your attendance sheet. You get your attendance link as well. You will not get your attendance link today, so no need to wait for that. You can leave now. As of now, it's done.